Welcome back. On Saturday, Her Excellency Minister of Environment Dr. Yasmin Fouad met with representatives of the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development (OECD) in Cairo, and they discussed a number of issues related to Egypt's green transformation and the policies of growth green. Well, to shed more light on the discussions and on the steps taken by the state to achieve on the ground green transformation, we are very much delighted to have with us via phone Dr. Reem, Essam, Professor of Economics, Cairo University. A very good morning to you, Dr. Reem.
Good morning to you. The pleasure is mine to be with you today.
Thank you. And let's start immediately with some definitions because we want to understand more about those terms, which are relatively new. What's the green growth policies first?
Okay, indeed. 20 years after the first Rio summit, the world continues to face twin challenges like expanding economic opportunities for all in the context of growing global population. And of course, addressing environmental pressure that, if left unaddressed, could eliminate our ability to overcome these opportunities. Green growth is where these two challenges meet, and is about exploring the opportunities to realize the two together. Green growth means foresting economic growth and development while ensuring the natural assets continue to provide the resources and environmental services on which our well-being relies. To do this, it must highlight investment and innovation, which will take sustainable growth and give rise to new economic opportunities. Moreover, green growth is not a replacement for sustainable development, because someone maybe misunderstood this terminology. Rather, it provides a practical and flexible approach for achieving measurable and concrete progress across its economic and environmental pillars.
Then I can say that the green growth policies are our ways to implement on the ground the steps taken to achieve green transformation. True?
Indeed, of course.
Great. Well, also, there are steps taken by the state to boost our cooperation with our African states or African states allies all over the Black Continent, of course, I mean, to reach this. I mean, we are exchanging our expertise, we are conveying all our successful experiences in this regard to our African allies to make sure that this is going to be a general concept implemented all over Africa. And we were the voice of Africa in Paris in a recent event which took place to discuss this issue. I'd like you, ma'am, would you please to elaborate on that?
Of course, as always we say, Egypt represents the voice of Africa. Egypt launched the Africa Adoption Initiative and the African Renewable Energy Initiative to support the development agenda in Africa and implement Egypt's vision to achieve sustainable growth and enhance cooperation and integration among Africa countries and all over the continent. Also, Minister of Environmental Affairs, Fouad, also pointed to the efforts made by Egypt to make or highlight the environmental issue integrated within the development sector and to change the discourse on the environment. Regarding climate change, Egypt explained approach and implementation of many projects to adopt and mitigate the negative effect of climate change in cooperation with the development partners and bank and their impact on water and food security in Egypt and all over Africa continent. Egypt has implemented many national projects to line canals and desolated seawater, and also working to develop new crops that are resilient to climate change.
And we are trying step by step to change even the discourse of the environment issue in general, to take into consideration that maintaining our environment, this has nothing to do it's not an obstacle on the way of economic development. We can achieve our economic development in the same time while we are maintaining and preserving our environment. True?
Of course, indeed. It's not really working against each other. We can rely on green economy, green sustainable economy. We use environmental friendly fuel to get energy. It's not really against each other. It's working together.
And among the topics which were discussed in this important meeting of Her Excellency Minister Fouad and the representatives of the OECD in Cairo is the impact of climate change and its negative repercussions on important national security issues, if I may call them this way, like food security, like impact on water, like the states of our rivers, not only the Nile River in Egypt, but all rivers across Africa in specific. How do you see these topics of discussion?
Of course. Egypt always has its own proactive agenda in addressing the climate change issues and its impact on water and food security, as you mentioned. Let's just give the audience some key initiatives that Egypt made, like, for example, in National Strategy for Climate Change 2050, Egypt launched a comprehensive strategy that focused on several critical issues, like reducing carbon dioxide emissions. This is aimed for sustainable economic growth while minimizing carbon emissions. Also, adaptation to climate change, enhancing the country's resilience to climate-related challenges. Governance framework which strengthens the state and the society mechanism to address climate issues. Also, financial infrastructure improvement. We observe it every day, ensuring effective funding for climate-related projects. That when we start a project, we make sure that this project is friendly to the environment. Also, we can highlight different topics, like, for example, scientific research and technology management. As a faculty staff at the university, so we are developing our research to leverage the knowledge and innovation.
And to fill this gap between theory and practice, it's no more about only research. It's the research which can be practically implemented on the ground. And to invest, for example, Dr. Reem, we are lining canals and we are building desalination stations for seawater. We are developing new crops to be suitable for certain types of soil all over Egypt according to the geographic location. This is a kind of investment. We are investing in the green economy. We are not paying all these sums of money in vain, but for the coming generations to enjoy a better environment and in the same time to know that we can invest in a green manner. If you want to elaborate on that too.
Of course, Egypt has a clear agenda, and this is not really wasting of money or time. We have a strong and clear vision to adopt this kind of projects. Let me highlight Egypt's Vision 2030, focused on improving the quality of life of Egyptian citizens and improving their standards of living in various aspects of life by emphasizing on the collaboration of the principles of justice, social inclusion, and the participation of all citizens in political and social life. This comes in the trend with achieving high, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, also green economy, enhancing investment in people and building their creative capabilities, by using increased innovation, knowledge, and scientific research in all fields. We link the theory by practice. Our research, we always say, it links to tackle Egyptian problems and to improve Egyptian welfare.
And all what you said under the environment law too, and to make sure that we are also that flexible when we do have some amendments to be taken on the ground for the best interest of our environmental file, we are taking these amendments into consideration and implement them on the ground. If also you want to elaborate on that.
Of course, we have a clear environment and laws in all these kind of environmental aspects. We have also trying to meet the international standards, like, for example, the Organization for Economic and Cooperation Development officially expressed their satisfaction with the collaboration with the Ministry of Environment in Egypt. They especially praised Egypt's efforts in the environmental field and the green transition. This acknowledgement reflects the country's commitment to the sustainable development, and it's a proactive approach in addressing environmental challenge. It's not only we are adopting our rules and we are aligning with international standards regarding to environment and clean economy, but we are taking a proactive approach, like risk management. We are expecting what is the risk, explore from, and we will tackle this problem before it happens. Like the discussion held during the meeting will likely contribute valuable suggestions and recommendations to be incorporated with the reports of Egypt's dedication to make it on one of the top priorities of the environmental issue, integrating with them with the development agenda of all our sectors, and actively working on climate change adoption and mitigating projects in its agenda, or in the our
plan
government
or
agenda.
strategy,
Yes,
Dr.
or
Reem.
our plan.
Dr. Reem, this is going to take me to the importance of the strategic partnership between the public and private sector, because without full coordination and collaboration between the public and private sector, it's not going to be a story of success. And this is exactly what we have started long ago. CSR, corporate social responsibility, and sustainability. We are talking about terms which are now that normal to listen every now and then, particularly when there are meetings like the important meeting we are speaking about, and how these terms are implemented on the ground to achieve success and to make sure that all our plans or our strategies are successful and well studied before being implemented. True?
Of course, indeed. The collaboration between private sector, it wasn't like luxurious or kind of optional. We have to incorporate private sector with the governmental sectors to build, to invest, and to increase the GDP, and also to increase the welfare for each Egyptian citizen. Not only environmental sector, which has become increasingly crucial, especially after the COVID pandemic, but also in all aspects of, like, as you said, CSR, social and corporate responsibility.
Corporate social responsibility, and also sustainable development strategy, or SDS, because when it comes to environment and when it comes to how Egypt is preserving the environment, it's the responsibility of all of us. Starting from the head of state to the Minister of Environment to the layman in the street.
Of course, indeed. I agree with you. It's a responsibility for each citizen to work together, as I said, from the private sector of the governmental sector, to work to achieve Egypt's vision in 2030, which focus on improving the quality of life of the Egyptian citizens, and also gives importance to addressing the effect of climate change through an integration and sustainable ecosystem that enhances resilience to natural hazards. These regions also focuses on the governance of the state institutions, society, through administrative reform, establishing transparency, supporting monitoring and evaluation of all systems, and improving local administrations. All these desired goals come within the framework of ensuring Egyptian peace and security, and strengthening the Egyptian leadership regionally and internationally, and not only on the local aspects, and also on all international and wide world aspects.
Well, Dr. Reem, Essam, Professor of Economics, Cairo University, thank you very much for your input, and have a very good day. Right after the short break, we are going to return back with more, so stay tuned.